Parents and teachers, remember that game called Whack-A-Mole? You put a quarter in the machine and it gives you this big giant hammer with a big soft thing on the end of it, and then these moles pop up from these holes, and you take the hammer and you whack them down, you whack them on the head and they go down, and then another one pops up, and then another one pops up, then another one pops up. You never know where they're going to come. That is very much what it's like when you're helping students who struggle with executive function. What's up, parents and teachers? My name is Seth with SethPerler.com. I'm an executive function coach based in Colorado and help struggling students navigate this thing called education so that they can have a great future. And these kids are at risk. This is no joke. This is the truth. Please take this very seriously. If these kids do not figure out good enough executive function, they are at risk of really having a lot of problems when they're older and not being able to achieve the things that are important to them once they figure out what's important to them. And as we're trying to serve these kids, it's like whack-a-mole trying to help them. This is what I specialize in. This is what I work with. And what I'm trying to do when I'm working with a family or when I'm working with a student is I'm trying to get them from point A to point B, point A where they have all these executive function struggles and people are worried, oh my gosh, if this kid doesn't figure it out, they're going to really struggle. Getting to point B where parents and teachers and the kid can go, we can take a sigh of relief. This kid's going to be okay. So in helping these kids get from point A to point B, there are different sort of profiles of kids that I work with. But generally speaking, it takes a semester or two or three or four to create enough change where they've really got it. It just depends on what skills they have once they come to me for how long it takes. But either way, if I work with a kid for one semester or 4 semesters, however long I work with them, it's like playing whack-a-mole. So the student might start working on their planner and really using that well, and it's working for them and it's helping everything. It has a great domino effect. And then they lose it one day, or they just stop using it one day, or they just decide they hate it one day, and then that is out of the game for a period of time, or it's not working as well as it was. Or they design their sacred study space. They have a great place where they can focus, and it works for a few days, and then they forget, or it doesn't catch, or it hasn't gelled yet. Or they are starting to advocate for their teachers. It's getting easier for them. They're walking up to teachers and saying, hey, can I get some help? And the teacher's helping them, and they're seeing that the kid wants it, and then all of a sudden they decide they're not going to do that anymore, or they forget that that resource was available to them. So it is like playing whack-a-mole. And what we don't want to do, the worst possible thing we can do at these moments, is to say something to the student or a child in a shameful way that has some sort of terseness to it, or a condescension or a contempt in the way that we say it, where it's like, you were just doing that, why'd you stop? You were doing that fine. The tone where it's coming from is everything. So when I'm working with these students, I see the whack-a-mole all the time, but my objective is to really give them positivity, warmth, kindness, compassion, empathy, understanding, and support, and saying, hey, I get it. I get it. So you stop doing this. And then I want to give them ownership and buy-in. What do we need to do? What ideas do you have that we can get this implemented again? How, if you start to get off track with that again and the whack-a-mole happens, how can we get back on track? How can you get back on? So it's really important, obviously, to really watch our tones, our body language, and the words that we say, because once it crosses over into shame land, what we are trying to do ends up backfiring. We are not as effective as we want to be for this child we are trying to serve. Anyhow, my name is Seth with SethPerler.com. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone, leave a comment. What do you think about this stuff? Where do you see whack-a-mole in terms of executive function or in terms of education in general? And what do you do that helps these kids? All right, be well, take care, later.